The Song of Merlin, Volume 1, Chapter 1, The 13 Treasures, by Brian Rhodes, read by T-Rox. Treasure 1. Upon a winter solstice, upon Cornwall's raging windswept shores, as a world of ice and snow and sleet slush around the pilgrim's feet, a window between worlds open up where once hidden doors. The Celtic bards and druids all, this is the myth of a myth recall, learning the power of ancient and sacred laws. Upon a winter solstice, so strikes the midnight hour, as a world of rain, darkness and shadows in the mist taunt an innocent fool that to live is not to simply exist. A shadow between worlds opens up to devour. Celtic harpers and warriors all heed the power of nature's call, learning the legend of how in legend the truth will flower. Then by dawn was a creature born, having the gift of second sight. A Merlin there arose, to know the world beyond compare, knowing the spirit of the night. Here is a trickster, a magician, a knower of truths arcane. A Merlin was born to break the hold of the temporal chain, to reveal the truth of being in one to then ordain. Then at daybreak, the sound of a child fit to wake, born of hair and cowl. How a Merlin sought the dream that was taught, communicating with both animal and fowl. Here is a fool, a joker, a person I observe. Here is a Merlin born to know the power of the word, and there in truth to know the dreaming that has occurred, through a primitive and ingenious address, then thoroughly elucidated and talked about. Which came first? Is it darkness? Is it light? Or is the first human when he or she or it existed on that day? Was he or she or it created? What is the foundation of the earth, of the soul, of the flower? To know that there is one, namely I who, as they say, simply is. There is no instruction other than to simply be. The sin is in the eye of the beholder. The sin is in the mind of the arrogant fool, as sin cannot exist in the power and light of the human heart. In many things, in many ways, the dark-dressed ones will steal the night and become but naked savages, with no taste for the real. In the morning, no one comes, if they sing of three spheres. I see the sons and daughters of the angels, fighting with the sons and daughters of the Celti. How comes the day and night? How comes the eagle soaring gracefully through the twilight skies? How come the verdant pleasure of alive with life? There are three sacred fountains in the mountain of the crystal roses. The first fountain is the female energy encased in the eternal cauldron. The second fountain is the male energy, pulsing with life through the sacred wand. The third is neutral, neither male nor female, but both. This is the stirring energy from within. It was so deep within the mountain of roses that the carer of defense is the under the ocean's wave and the carer of wisdom. Full of nothing but vacant stare of the disembodied fool. I wondered as I pondered on what is the name of the fool, and of course why, who and what are they confessing? How thick or thin is the veil as it hangs between the worlds? I saw the mouth of the eternity open wide. I saw the size of the menhir on the open plain. I touched the tops of the sacred trees. I saw them swaying gently once, but now swaying fit to break. I saw the haze of the sky scouring cloud, who had descended and was vainly trying to wrap the exposed roots and trunks in its silver light. I saw the ancient ones perform their acts of magic. I saw 1 billion books come open, some closed, yet others were ripped and torn as the flood of emotional tangibility scrambled and scribbled its way into the crucible of the sacred forest, and I knew it was buried with me. From whence comes the night, the pristine hoarder of sacred dreams, and from whence comes the flood swamp to overwhelm us all? In the blinking of an eye, a dream descending, it told of glories and power, never ending. Merlin saw a plain of death and war, as it happened, or so it happened, all once more. Merlin was like a boat tossed towards a desolate shore, to see things that would come from the future, to restore in the dream was the following concealed. The power to his eyes was slowly all revealed. 900 warriors will journey to, and for 300 swords brandish as they go. 900 warriors will journey out and in, 300 shields shielding the sacred within. 900 warriors will journey far and wide, 300 spears to pierce humanity's side. 13 treasures have been created, the power of them is here to be fated, known and unknown, by culture generated. 13 treasures have been concealed, the power of them all is here revealed. There are empowered to break these sanity congealed. 900 warriors will guard them, placing them in sacred sites. 300 swords of the sacred empowered eternal knights. 900 warriors will disperse them, keeping them under lock and key. 300 shields to protect them from impurities we cannot see. 900 warriors will tend to them, keeping the eternal vigil in knowing. 300 spears to guard the truth the treasures have been sowing. 13 treasures have been designed to exercise the body and the mind. Know to be a truth that to you has been assigned. 13 treasures in ways and means have been buried deep. To know the question of the questions will awaken from the sleep. The truth in truth we can keep. I saw a bird, a blackbird sitting on a mentar and caroling to the enraptured universe. I saw a flower twisting its way around the same menhar. I saw its blossoms now budding. I looked into the earth and divided the secrets there. I saw it in the runes. I had my hands, and then scattered on the ground I saw the auguries of 1,000 eternities. And each one was far better than the one before, and yet it all paled in comparison with the dawn of the first rays of light that touched the moors, and showered the light and grace as it poured upon the flowers of the light and the soul. I heard the sound of a raging storm. The thunder cracked over the land. The lightning streaked and created a pool of intense energy. As I listened to, and it joined the rain as it fell on the ground and on my small roof, I could discern another sound, that of footfalls, the sound of someone running, almost slipping, sliding in the rain, while every now and then cowering in natural fear over the boom of a thunderclap and the crack of a lightning bolt. I went to the door of my humble little cabin and called out, Where are you coming from, and where are you going to on this sodden rainy day? How far have you travelled, with the nature around us all on display? As he got closer, I could see a broad muscular body hiding in a large cape, and not a small amount of armour. As he entered my home, he removed the cape and loudly exclaimed, "I am just now come from a battle, and need a place to retreat. I saw your cabin from afar, and the lights and glow from your window as a welcome treat." I motioned to him to get a little closer to the fire, as I bid him remove his water-soaked armour until he was quite naked in the rawness of his youth, and I saw pockmarks of scars all over his body. We ate in silence, and so as his clothes and armour and he had a chance to dry on a small pallet alongside, he soon fell asleep. All I could admire was the body, the way it moved, the suppleness, and the way it tossed and turned. So it was on the morning, as the lark sang on the morning tide. The storm had long since stopped, but the debris was all around. I prepared a small breakfast as we ate and drank in the silence he used to be asked. And although still naked, he went outside with his sword, and I saw him practice and maybe even perfect his training. I saw the fool moving with a grace and certainty, each one flowering into the next. I heard the sound of a child, its crying, its mewing. It seemed to be a signal to the whole universe to wake. Upon returning indoors, a quick breakfast was had by both of us, and so for a while we sat in awkward silence. I went to his clothes, by now all dry and fresh. As he dressed, he said, "Who are you?" "I am a master, mistress of the eternities. I am a humble servant to the old ways, long lost and long forgotten by the brainless fools who now wander the verdant lands in my ancient home." "Do you have a name?" "I am Talisman, I am Merlin, I am Vivian, I am Morgana. I am the old ones who ever lived and died in the beauty of the sacred garden. I am male and female, though neither. I am colours of the universe on display for all the world of fools to see. In my mind's eye I saw the warriors. I saw their swords and spears, with their shields and armour. I could feel threshing of the swords as it cuts through the flesh. I could feel the bitterness of the spear as it pierced thousands of dreams, impaling them on the waves of eternity. The fool was looking at me, and then after some silent observation he spoke. "Where did you just go?" "I went to Arwen. I went to the world of the sacred eternity. Can you show me? How much time and space do you have?" I looked at him a little closer and searched his heart and soul, and I crept into his consciousness and breathed a gentle sigh. You've been listening to Song of Merlin, Chapter 1, by Brian Rhodes. The First Treasure, read by T. Rocks. And don't forget, keep rocking.